Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am joined with a very special guest and we're going to be talking about the ACOTAR series by SarahJMaas. So enjoy!
Hi everyone, so my name's Patrick, I'm Hannah's boyfriend and I've been reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series with her as a bit of a fun thing to do together, but also as motivation for Hannah's recent gym extravaganza that she's been on. Do you want to talk them through how that's been working?
So it started off with A Court of Thorns and Roses, the book, obviously. The deal was that every time I went to the gym, Patrick would have to read a chapter of ACOTAR because he was convinced that he wouldn't like it and I was not convinced to go to the gym. So we used that as a reason for me to go to the gym and to force him to read it. And it worked!
Yeah.
He's read 3 of them now.
Yeah, so now I've read through all 3. I've really enjoyed them overall. That's a bit of a...
I said he would.
Quick spoiler alert. And yeah, we're going to talk today about the experience of reading the book together as a couple, about our favourite ones of the books, all that kind of thing. So it should be fun.
Originally it started with just Patrick reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by himself. I do have 2 copies of this book, well I have 3 copies actually, but I didn't realise I had 3 at the time. The other copy I thought I had I've lent out to a friend, so I thought I only had the one. So Patrick was reading it, which was fine, but then it got to the point where I was also reading it over his shoulder, and I'm a faster reader than he is, so I was really annoying him. And then I remembered that I do have another copy, so I quickly caught up with him and then we started reading it together, and we've done that for the rest of the series since.
And that's been really fun.
It's been fun. There has been a few times where obviously I've read these before, so I've been trying to read other books as well as rereading these. So there's been a few occasions where Patrick has gone ahead of me a bit and I've had to sit down and read for a chunk of time to catch back up with him.
Yeah, there's been a few times when I've just kind of been like, oh, I've got to read, I've got to catch up, got to find out what's going on. And
while I'm asleep.
Yeah. I've definitely been enjoying the books.
It's been fun. We're going to do some mini reviews for the books. We're going to try and not spoil anything, but it is quite difficult, obviously, as the series progresses. They relate back to the previous books. So if you haven't read them yet and really, really want to, maybe be careful. And we'll find out.
I'll bleep anything that's really spoilery.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the first book, of course, is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This one features the main character, Farah, sort of finding out about the world of the fairies that live above Hadrian's Wall to the north of where she lives. And yeah, she's kind of finding out about that world and learning about it, and it's all kind of new and fresh to her. So it's quite a lot of, you know, world building and teaching you about how it works. But I thought that SarahJMaas did a fantastic job of working that world building into the storyline rather than just, you know, dedicating chapters and chapters to telling you about history rather than showing you, which I really appreciate. Yeah, I really hate hard world building. It's one of my biggest off-putting things in books, so I really like that about the book.
Which is why I'll never get into read Crescent City as much as I want to, because it's my favourite series that SarahJMaas has written. But the intense world of building is intense.
Yeah. This book, yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's the first book I've ever read that's got, like, you know, the spicy side of things, and while I was reading this one, I found that stuff quite off-putting. It's really a bit jarring almost when you're not used to it. But by the time I got through all 3 books, I was completely used to that stuff and actually quite enjoyed it. So there you go.
Became very desensitized to it.
Yeah, but the first few times, just like, why are you telling me about this? I just want to get on with the story. Come on, because yeah, it's just not what I'm used to. But yeah, it's quite fun, quite an enjoyable little book, and it's a bit. The other ones get a lot more kind of serious and kind of dark, whereas that one's quite light and fun for most of it. It gets a little bit less light in the second half, but the first half is certainly pretty silly and light.
Airy-fairy.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fun book. I would definitely recommend it for people like me who don't really read fantasy books. It's kind of a fun way to get into that with easy reading and good times.
I really enjoyed my reread. This is maybe the third or fourth time I've read the first one now. It was sweet. Going into it, I forgot how sweet it is. As Patrick said, the books get a bit darker as they progress, and I think the opening half of A Court of Thorns and Roses might be one of my favourite bits of writing ever. It's just based on scenery and interactions that the characters have. They feel a lot more relaxed at the start of the book. But it was really fun going back and rereading it. There was loads of little moments that I forgot about, and there was loads of little moments that once you know the ending, they happen, and you're like, oh, that's leading to a bigger moment in the future, and I loved reminding myself of things like that. It was a lot of fun. It's cute.
So the next book in the series is A Court of Mist and Fury. This one is a lot darker, as I say. It's basically it features Feyre after the end of the previous book being quite disturbed and broken from the things that have occurred. And it mainly focuses on her sort of recovery and her journey through that. So it's quite interesting seeing quite a strong female character from the previous one being written as a broken person trying to rebuild themselves, and the people around them helping do that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. It's much more about sort of discovery and relationship building than the first one, but it's a wonderful book again, and I think this one is my favourite out of the three.
This one is also my favourite out of the three. But I do enjoy this one because of the world building. Again, I think SarahJMaas expands, and we see other courts in the Fey world, and we meet new characters, and it just fleshes out of Court of Thorns and Roses a bit more. And yeah, the plot. I read it for the plot. No spoilers.
One of the key things about this book, I think, for me, is the kind of added level of darkness to it. As I say, the main character is recovering from these horrible things that have happened to her, but they're also going through new horrible things as well. New struggles. And there's one particular part that really sticks out in my mind where they have to go and kind of fight this horrible monster whose entire house is made of hair. And it's just this horrible image of this greasy hair they've got to crawl through. It's just super unpleasant. It makes your skin crawl, and it's written in a way that makes you kind of really puts you there and makes you feel the things that are going on, which I really liked about it. And it's just stuck in my mind. And we read this one a couple of months ago now, so that bit is really kind of keyed into me. So I think that's an example of the good writing that's in this book.
It's very immersive writing.
That's what I was looking for. Third book in the series is A Court of Wings and Ruin. We just finished this one, 4 days ago now? So this one's really fresh in our minds. It's safe to say that Hannah and I spent a couple hours on the sofa reading the last bit of this together, just crying our eyes out.
I told him it'd be sad, and I don't think he believed me for how sad it was actually going to be. I was like,
the book's not going to make me cry. Just tears. But a wonderful book again. It gets a little slow in the middle, so if you are reading this and you're like, oh, what am I doing, this book's really slow, stick with it because the ending is brilliant. But yeah, the middle bit kind of drags on a little bit, but that's the only criticism I'd have of this book, and really all the others is they're just really great books, and I've had a great time reading them.
The other two I have, as I said, read 3 or 4 times. This one I've only read once previously. So this was my second time rereading it, so there was a lot in it that I'd forgotten about. And actually, when we started this, Patrick had already got several chapters ahead of me, and he kept saying, oh, I'm on this bit when this happens, and I couldn't remember it at all, and I had to keep being like, hang on, I need to catch up because I have no idea what you're talking about. I think this book is quite fast-paced as well. A lot happens, as Patrick says, until you get to the middle, and then the same thing kind of happens for a while, and then it all speeds back up again and it carries on. But yeah, the middle bit is a bit of a struggle, but once you get through that, it's great again. Yeah. And again, we meet new characters, we have worlds expanded on. It's a lot of fun and a lot of tears and a lot of
so many tears. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about our favourite characters. So Hannah, what's your favourite main character and what's your favourite side character from the series? No pressure.
It's so hard. I think Feyre is my favourite character because I'm basic. but I just really like her storyline. I think she has really good character progression. I think she's really real, and in the second and third books, the things that she goes through, how she's recovering still from the incidents of the first book, it is just so human and so fleshed out and real again. So yeah, I think she's my favourite character. How about you?
I would say my favourite of the kind of main core characters is joint to Azrael and Cassian, the two sort of secondary bat boys who have a really fun kind of bantery relationship with both between themselves and with the other characters around them. They bring kind of a lightness to these very dark situations, which is kind of really enjoyable and fun, while also, you know, having their own kind of personalities and not just being a joke machine. So they're well written characters. I really like them. How about your favourite side character?
If Lucian was classed as a side character, which I think as the books progresses he does become more of, I'd go for him. But I also think the Suriel, which I know, again, basic, but I love the Suriel. I think he's so creepy. I always imagine it as a he in my head. He's so creepy and so weird and spooky, and just, I think, so important to the plot as well.
Yeah, see, that's interesting to me, because to me the Suriel is a bit of a plot device. Like, I didn't find that I got that invested in the character, whereas like my favourite side character is the Briaxis, which is just a demon that lives in a library. But I just thought he was very cute, and he was just a lot of fun. And yeah, he's only got a few pages of storyline dedicated to him, but it's pretty fun little guy.
If you've seen Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, that's how I imagine Briaxis, but with more smoke and mist around. This is now a question for Patrick, because originally it was only ever going to be A Court of Thorns and Roses that we're going to do this gym challenge for, because I was really convinced that he wouldn't like them, so I didn't put any more effort into making these little charts until afterwards. Would you have continued reading the series on your own if I had quit the gym and not kept going?
Yeah, I think I would have. I was definitely pushing for you to catch up with me by the end of the last one, rather than the other way around. I was really enjoying reading them, and I think, yeah, I certainly would have stuck with it. Next question is for you. Do you think that people who love this series but their partner, you know, is like me, wasn't interested in reading them, wouldn't necessarily read books like this, do you think they should push their partners into reading them, and would they enjoy reading them together?
I think so. I think, as Patrick said, there is world building, but it's not intense. I think they are new adult books. They're not YA, they're not adult. They kind of border that in between. So the world building isn't crazy, and it isn't going to blow your mind, and it's not overwhelming to take on or confusing. So I think that can put a lot of people off fantasy, and I think this is a nice starting point. I think there's a reason why a lot of people, when they first join BookTalk or Bookstagram, get hooked into this series, because it is an easy one to get into.
I think, like a lot of people, my only experience with fantasy has been Tolkien, and if you don't like hard world building, that can put you off the whole genre. So it's worth giving something like this a try that's very, very different from that. It's kind of, it couldn't really be more different while still having fairies in it.
I'm still pushing him to read Terry Pratchett. I'll get there one day, but it's too much world building for him now.
It's not interesting to me.
Another question for you. Are you planning on reading any more SarahJMaas? There is obviously 2 other books currently in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and she has 2 other series out.
Yeah, I mean, if she hadn't made me cry so much 3 days ago, maybe I'd have... Yeah, no, I definitely looking forward to reading some more SarahJMaas. We're going to go on to the next Court of...
Frost and Starlight.
Yeah, next. There you go. Frost and Starlight next, and then, yeah, maybe I'll give the other series a go after that. Yeah.
Based on this, have you ever read a book with your partner before? Are there any books you recommend that we read together? I think we enjoyed it. It'd be fun to read them again. But I think the only books I now have doubles of are ones that he's not interested in. I don't think I can get you to read Wuthering Heights, kind of.
No. I mean, you know, based on this, maybe I would have enjoyed it. But...
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's any books you can think of, or if there's just any that you think that we would enjoy to read together, and we can always just buy 2 copies, let us know.
Yeah, the experience of reading a page and then just being like, what the heck was that? Oh my god! Together was really fun. Yeah. So yeah, I think we could get into reading some other books together as well. Yeah. I think that's all we've got to say on the Court of Things and Stuff.
Court of Things and Stuff.
Court of Things and Stuff.
I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.